Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be reviewing The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. So this is the cover. And so the book is actually about a silverback gorilla named Ivan. Ivan lives in a mall. And in the mall he lives in a small cage with a TV, a water bowl, and a stray dog named Bob. And also in his cage it sometimes contains paper and crayons. That's because the mall's owner, Mac, actually charges people whatever Ivan decides to draw, $35 with the frame. And so in the cage next to Ivan is a very old elephant who's been at the mall longer than Ivan. The elephant's name is Stella. Stella actually injures her foot really bad because she does a lot of circus shows inside the mall every 2 hours. And so whenever she puts pressure on her foot, it actually starts to bleed. Mac is getting mad. That's because nobody wants to see an injured elephant and they'll start to protest. So he buys from an old circus in Africa that's about to go down a small baby elephant named Ruby. Ruby arrives at the mall and first lives with Stella, but in a bit Stella dies. Right after she dies, Ivan remembers a story that Stella told him about other animals living in peace without anyone making them run around in circles like a circus is called a zoo. And so Ivan's goal is to get Ruby to a zoo. But that's really far-fetched. That's because he's been living in that mall for three and a half years. So now Ivan's dream is to get Ruby to a zoo. First, he tries to make a drawing of a zoo, but the janitor's daughter named Julia doesn't see it. And so then he starts taking pieces of paper and works at night and tries to draw Ruby and a zoo. And with the janitor's daughter, who actually gives him crayons, notices that, she starts to tell her dad. And her dad actually picked up the action and tried to get more protests to get Ruby and Ivan into a zoo. And it does work. So when they do transfer Ivan into a zoo, he has to get introduced to a new family. And since he's a male, he is a silverback. And silverbacks are usually the leader of the family group. And so it takes a long time because it's hard for Ivan because he's mostly been living by himself since he was a baby. And so when he does get welcomed, it does get a little hard for him, but then he realizes it's best for him. And then the zookeepers actually lead him into a room with a small TV screen. On that TV screen, he sees Ruby. It's a bunch of elephants playing tag, which he and Ruby used to play in the mall. And so overall, this book I would recommend is a full 10 out of 10. It's really great. It comes from a realistic point of view, but it does come from an animal's point of view, so it is a little funny. Even though it does seem like a really thick book, it's not, because most of the chapters are just one page. And yeah. Thank you for watching.